Like that! There's a quarter of my health. Like literally gone.
Why did you?
I don't want to use the revive stone yet because there was a certain quest we need to revive a stone, remember? Ugh. Serious again? I couldn't dodge that. That's unfair. I'm scared if I hit one of those, I'm dead. Okay, we got one key, brother.
One key. Will that be enough?
Nope. I found a Minotaurus and it just freaking killed me. I have to wait until my health is fully regened. Which has a better regen. I'm just picking everything that has a quick regen for me. Okay, everything is that. Oh, cool. So yeah, what are you doing now, brother?
Just doing some writing. And watching you, of course.
Oh, I'm a fucking bastard. Brother, I'm a bastard.
No, you're not.
Those Minotaur that was in front of me here, I was a little bit cheeky. Like, he was standing right here. I distracted him to get him all the way over here. I went on that plateau. He just dropped down and killed himself.
Nice. Oh, looks like you need some health.
Yeah, and I was regenerating my health at the same time. Now I need to do it again. Yeah, now I can show what I meant. Oh crap. You got me in midair. Ah crap, you killed me again. I hate those big guys. Come on, big fella. Come on. Come on. Like I did that! I didn't give him the chance to actually fight back. I'm just going back and forth on, like I'm safe then. Cause we need to get a lot of upgrades. So I think I need to grind again sometime for some levels. Okay, I can use one of my keys here. I will use it because maybe we'll get more keys. Nope.
Yes, please don't. I am not going to be happy if they screw this up.
Screw what up?
I just found out that they're remaking. Yeah, have you ever seen the movie Jumanji?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Well, they're remaking that, and
Serious?
guess who they? Yeah, and guess who they have as the main character?
I don't know.
The Rock.
The Rock?
Dwayne Johnson. I don't know. Do you know him? What movie is he from? Have you seen The Scorpion King?
Yeah.
Well, he was the main character in that. He played the main character in that. So the actor that played the Scorpion King is going to be the main character for this remake of Jumanji.
Great.
I'm not sure whether to be happy about that or really pissed off.
Yeah, that's just asking for bad remakes.
Yeah, I just don't get why so many remakes are being made. I mean, the originals were good for a reason because they were timeless. They were good in their own way. They didn't, abide to the typical rules of cinema. They always had particular ways that they did things, and that made what they. You don't recapture the same feeling that you had for the original by remaking it, because chances are 9% of the time it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, there's, there's been how many versions can you think of? Um, there's been countless versions of the Christmas Carol. I've got the Jim Carrey version. I know that there's a Muppet version and there's a cartoon version. There's been so many different versions,
Mm-hmm.
and no one can choose a good one, like a really perfect one, because they're all so different
Different.
from each other. But the problem is, the the biggest problem is they all usually, they all stick to relatively the same storyline, and have the same characters. It'd be nice to have a Christmas Carol type story that had different characters, or maybe a twist on it. And I have seen that done. It is possible to be done where, Christmas Carol is done in a different way. Like, I saw, um, I saw a movie once that had it set in a more present time, which you wouldn't think would work, but it kind of did work. And the main character, he wasn't named Mr. Scrooge or anything like that. It wasn't anything obvious. Um, but he was a bit of a grouch, and he wanted to have his way. But to be fair, he was a producer of a film company, and they usually do that sort of thing. So you can imagine why he was doing it that way.
Yeah.
So something like that, like if if a remake is done properly, that's fine. But the problem is, most of the time, remakes are not done properly.
I get what you mean.
So I'm not 100% looking forward to the Jumanji remake.
I get what you mean.
Part of me is curious as to what they could do with it, but another part of me is just like, really? They're remaking Jumanji? Like, if they were to make a sequel from it, that would be pretty cool, because it was something that looked like it was going to have a sequel and never did.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to have a sequel from Jumanji would be pretty sweet. But no, it's actually going to be a full on remake. Except it's going to be based in modern times, which probably is going to have a whole bunch of dude and, you know, current day, what the producers think are current day slang. And yeah, that's just going to ruin it.
Oh, many ways. Wait, what?
People can do good movies, but a lot of producers seem to be forgetting that.
Yeah.
In fact, there are many, many, many books out there, many books created in the world that I would absolutely love to see made into a movie. There's I can think of five off the top of my head that I think would be perfect for a movie. But instead, we're getting remakes of Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Alice in Wonderland and all this sort of thing, and they're not that good.
I get what you mean.
You know that Alice in Wonderland, the remake. wasn't actually like it started off fairly popular, but then it just sort of um it lost its fan base extremely quickly. Like it went
Mm-hmm.
downhill fast, incredibly fast.
Yep. I know.
So it doesn't surprise me to hear that there's people who do not like remakes. And in the same corner, um, I don't like when they just keep making um sequels to movies that should have ended already. Like how many Ice Age movies is there now?
4.
And I hear that there's possibly going to be a fifth one. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least with Madagascar, they knew when to stop. You know what I mean? The stories from Madagascar, they got pretty strange and pretty out there, but they were still fairly good, I guess. And the characters were engaging, and the the settings were fascinating. But with Ice Age, I mean, the first one was good. The second one was alright, I guess. I did not like the third one at all, and I'm not even 1% interested in the newest one. So it's just like, nope, you've gone too far. And it's the same with Toy Story. Like, Toy Story 1 was really good and everyone loved it. Toy Story 2 was okay and it got a little bit serious, but that was alright. And Toy Story 3, despite the fact that a lot of people went to see it, I actually didn't like it because it was too serious.
I
It
get
got
you.
way too serious, like incredibly so. I couldn't believe how serious it got. I mean, this is meant to be a kids movie. And they almost end up killing all of the main characters, and you're just like, holy shit! They literally put all the main characters, except for the human main character, into an incinerator, and they're about to burn them, and that's pretty intense for a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. I thought that was way too serious and way too
Way too
harsh
far?
for the kid. Yeah, it was just way too far. But the tipping point for me on that movie was that right afterwards, like right after this really intense part that made you think that they were actually going to die, right after that, they go completely the opposite direction and have this happy ending with them being handed over to that young girl, which I admit was kind of nice at the time, but when you go from having this humongously intense moment that would probably have most kids watching the movie pissing themselves to this happy moment with with the toys being handed over to a new owner and all that sort of stuff, it ruins the movie. It really ruins the movie for me, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was way too serious and way too intense, and it felt like it didn't need to be made. Um, like I couldn't understand why they felt there had to be another Toy Story movie. Um, outside of course selling toys, so selling merchandise.
I get you.
Um, but the strange thing is, at least with the Toy Story series, the different plot lines, you can follow them fairly simply enough, but they're still engaging, and that's what I like about them. They're the toys are trapped in a very full-on um kindergarten type place, and they want to escape. Well, okay, I can follow that. That's all right. It's the place is not right for them, and they're trying to escape. That's fine. Um, but when you got something, you know, when you got sequels to movies that don't need to be made, and the first one was already too simple of a plot line, you start to think, okay, these guys obviously aren't giving a shit about what they're thinking. They're just, you know, doing it for the money. They're just doing it to get merchandise sold. They don't care about the plot line. They don't care about the audience. They just care about the money. Um, big example of that, very big example, is the Cars movies. You know, the animated car movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, I mean, there's only been two of them so far, but there's already talk of a third one. And then you got the Planes movie, and that had a sequel. Um, and stuff like that. It just sort of really pisses me off, and I don't like when they make when they make sequels just for the sake of selling toys and not for, you know, making people think, particularly making kids think, because kids can think. Kids can actually
Yeah, they
have
don't think.
good
People think
imagination.
they don't think, but they do think.